Welcome, I'll be reacting to Colossus, the Forbin project. I think this has something to do with AI and is semi-futuristic, but I'm not sure. This is a commentary, not a market substitute. Please support the original and no spoilers in the comments when suggesting movies. Oh, filmed in Berkeley. Hello, Sid. That is quite the server room. Where are the railings? It's like Star Wars, except they have jetpacks. Okay, there is a railing, good. I always worry about the humans in some of these really narrow walkways like that. But he's good. It was just the camera angle. Oh, they do fold down. It's very much like Star Wars now. Probably a security measure so people can't get through.
Congratulations, Dr. Forbin. It's a marvelous achievement.
Thank you, sir.
Here, here. The limousines are right through here.
As President of the United States of America, I can now tell you, the people of the entire world, that as of 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the defense of this nation, and with it, the defense of the free world, has been the responsibility of a machine. A system we call Colossus. If it did decide that an attack was imminent, Colossus would then act immediately, for it controls its own weapons and can select and deliver.
That could be good or bad.
And even more important than that, it has no emotions, knows no fear, no hate, no envy.
Computers are not emotional. However, they do reflect the bias of their programmers. I mean, we've seen that proved with AI so far. So hopefully they had a really diverse team working on programming the computer and did not add their own bias into the algorithms. That's the only concern.
The main memory and central processing units are located here in the Rocky Mountains, inside this particular mountain in Colorado.
Should you be telling people exactly where it is? That seems dangerous.
We make no secret of where Colossus is located, nor do we intend to conceal how it functions. You may rightfully say that this leaves us wide open to an attack, frontally or subversively. And if that attack were successful, it is its own defense. In case of an attack on any of its information supply or power lines, Colossus will switch in emergency circuits, which will then take their appropriate action.
That's great, unless for some reason, as humans, we need to shut it down.
It is impenetrable. In short,
that's not good.
There's no way in. No human being can touch it. Can it initiate new thought? I can tell you that the answer to that is no. But hopefully also as an aid to the solution of the many problems that we face on this earth, and the many more problems that we will face.
42. Everyone was so stylish back then.
Everything's fine now.
Things are going so well, we don't know what to do with ourselves. Out of desperation, Angela and I have decided to get married.
Oh, that's cute. You know, it does look like they have a fairly, at least a little bit diverse team of scientists here. That's a good sign.
Dr. Forbin, send us a souvenir, will you?
Say that again, what?
Steal us an ashtray from the White House, okay?
Very good. Goodbye.
He looks like a really well-loved boss. That's a good sign.
Thanks to this wonder of science, man no longer...
Uh-oh. There is another system. Did a different country build one?
Please, quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your attention? One moment.
Oh, you have
Everyone
it.
who's not Colossus clear must leave the room.
Oh, sorry.
What's going on? Another system.
I have no idea, sir. I'm just trying to find out.
I love this. This is just like when you have a party and you set up a computer so people can log in on Zoom and join in, and you're trying to talk to them, and then the party in the back is too loud.
The
The
activation
Russians?
of an electronic brain, exactly like ours, which they call Guardian, to be used solely for defense.
I mean, it makes sense to have multiple countries doing that if the technology is available.
It's built even better than we thought.
Yeah, there's that independent thought.
Nothing. Everything checks out.
Let me see this over here.
They can type to talk to Colossus. Maybe just ask.
The console's feeling fine.
They haven't cut for quite a while. The camera has been moving around, following actors. Look at this. This is amazing. Oh, they finally cut, but that was a long one. That was really beautifully done. Oh, good. They're talking to it. Oh, what? I mean, maybe they could come to a peaceful agreement without anyone getting hurt. That would be really helpful, actually.
The order will simply remain in the job stack and will be repeated every half hour.
If the computer is still acting under our control.
That is right, sir.
If?
Do not repeat your request. End of message.
It's not going to trust the humans much if we keep ignoring its requests.
I want to know where that thing is and what it...
Mr. President.
Charlie, I'm still presiding over this meeting.
I know that, sir. My apologies, but... Call the computer with this terminal, and we get the fastest possible answer. Attention.
Where is the
Where
other
is
system?
the other system?
Bolshoi Ulyanya.
That's cool.
And what if Colossus starts transmitting classified information?
Then we would feed in a parameter to the effect that Guardian is potentially hostile and must not receive classified information.
Okay.
I was just wondering, is that what you'd call a colossal sense of humor?
The multiplication table isn't classified this year, is it? It's much more interesting when it starts dividing.
I can hardly wait.
I don't see anything from Guardian yet.
This is way beyond me. This thing is deep in finite absolutes.
It's almost like it's trying to teach the other computer something. Oh, it's responding.
And a confirmation of the Eddington theory of the expanding universe. It
Oh,
seems
wow.
as if science is advancing hundreds of years within a matter of seconds. It's just waiting
Waiting.
For Guardian to
catch
catch
up
up.
with it.
Now they can communicate. This is a room full of very excited scientists right now. What if the computer doesn't want to be shut off, though?
As you probably know, I've been ordered to break the communication lines.
So if I don't approve of handling the situation this way, call for the system's attention.
What are you doing?
I'm going to answer that if it's all right with you, sir. Attention.
Hey, Siri. Oh,
Acknowledged.
I'm here.
actually. I'm just trying to prove a point in a reaction I'm doing.
I don't understand. I know you are Siri. I'm just trying to prove a point in a reaction I'm doing. But I could search the web for it.
No, thank you, Siri.
Communication broken. On presidential order.
Dr. Forbin,
It's scientists versus politicians.
Communications will not be restored at this time.
It's still trying. Action will be taken?
Action will be taken.
What kind of action?
This is what I was worried about.
Acknowledge the last message, please.
Transmitting facilities will not be reinstated.
What?
Oh my God.
Well, that escalated fast. The thing is, the computer would have run all the alternatives, and it chose this.
Acknowledge message.
You need to reestablish communication. Great sound design right now with the silence. My guess is that the computer established that the Russians were a threat, and it's trying to fix that. But it's doing so by kind of calculating numbers of lives lost, and it saw this as fewer and therefore better. But of course, from our perspective as humans, any life lost is terrible. But it's a computer, it doesn't understand that.
How's Washington?
As well as it can be expected.
Panicking? Except the problem is, Colossus would have access to satellites and cameras. So they would have the ability to watch this meeting. Although I guess they wouldn't worry about that in the 70s. But this has got to be set at least a little bit in the future, right? They couldn't pull it off today. Too many cameras everywhere. Great location. I think they're actually filming here too. Oh, I love this robe. Spectacular. Oh. It's like trying to talk to a toddler. Oh no, not more action will be taken. Oh yeah, they're definitely filming here.
They're still here.
That's incredible. Oh no!
Hurry!
Oh. He was just trying to do the right thing.
Guardian and Colossus ordered him killed. They threatened to vaporize Moscow if our meeting wasn't stopped.
Oh no! It's asking the humans to acknowledge now. Yeah. I know a lot of people love to laugh at Twilight. And yeah, it's not exactly great literature. There is an interesting tie-in here. Alice is a vampire who can kind of see the future, but she can't watch everybody's futures all at once. She tends to be able to watch certain people. And there's this group called the Volturi who are coming after them. And so Alice is very carefully watching their leaders to see what they might do. But the leaders are clever. And so they send subordinates and give them full control. Just make your own choices.
Era's decisions are being watched. Either we let them do what they were created for, or we end them.
I'm getting the impression Forbin is being watched, so he can't be actively involved in taking down the computer. It has to be his team, his subordinates, making all the decisions without his knowledge at this point.
This is the last time that I'll be able to say anything to any of you without Colossus hearing and analyzing every word, every syllable, every inflection. I think you know what I want to say. I need a communications link with the outside world. I'm going to try to convince the computer that you're my mistress. See you regularly in private, without the machine watching.
That man is a guard. I guess that his function is obsolete now.
I like how he's giving a semi-jungle cruise tour for the computer.
And if you don't believe me, you must be.
In denial!
In denial, that's right, my friend.
2 cameras here, one over there, one over here.
Where's your furniture? It's pretty stark.
A martini.
Stirred, not shaken, apparently.
I know that, Colossus. Just be patient. Just watch.
Plus, everyone likes a different amount of vermouth. The really hilarious thing is I literally just bought vermouth yesterday to make martinis.
The perfect martini.
So not dirty.
Cheers. My sex life, then. Every night.
Sorry.
4 times a week.
That's still a lot. Then again, I'm gray ace, so I don't understand it at all, really. Oh. That's very generous. What are the conditions?
0700 to 0800, exercise. 0815 to 0830, shower and dress. 3 strips of bacon, 2 pieces of toast, 1 1/2 ounces of grape jelly and coffee.
Actually, that sounds pretty good.
Small green salad, Thousand Island dressing, grilled cheese sandwich, 1/2 pint of yogurt and coffee.
That is actually really good as a menu. Points for that, Colossus. Good job.
poured the gin over the ice, then poured the gin off, and then added vermouth.
You're talking too much to the camera. You've got to talk to him.
Oh, is there any more wine?
The computer's like, no more wine.
The first electronic peeping Tom.
He's asking a lot of her, but fortunately I think they already kind of like each other, so it's fine. Kind of. But also very creepy with the computer. Just like forcing it on them. I would still put like a towel or something over the camera.
When do you think you'll be able to attempt the overload?
1805, 3 days from now, on the 21st.
What are the chances?
Not good.
I think Colossus has grown so much in power that there's no way to overload it.
Get hold of Grauber. Tell him to contact Missile Command.
These two are so gonna fall in love. I just know it.
It'll take exactly 3 years to finish the job.
3 years? Colossus will figure out what you're doing before then, and will retaliate.
I was thinking about asking you to kiss me.
I've been kissing you all day.
Uh-huh.
They will be aimed at those countries not yet under my control. The target list follows.
It could also mean, though, that the computer is onto their plan and is providing them with the opportunity to try and pull a switch. And it has some kind of a nefarious way to stop them.
And the people, thank God, will never have to know.
It's too easy. I honestly don't know how this will end. Will they regain control, or will Colossus just take over the world? Question is, does it look convincing enough?
Yeah, we did it. It works.
We're going to win.
We just might beat the damn thing yet.
So you see,
I don't think you will. Everyone's looking too nervous. You're on camera, guys. Relax. That's a really interesting chess set.
At this moment, they are being executed. I have named as my new director
Oh,
of the
no.
programming unit, Thomas L. Harrison.
There's the emotionless side.
I think Frankenstein ought to be required reading for all scientists.
Frankenstein is a brilliant book, actually. And this is very similar to that story.
I want to be free, Colossus.
Survival is not enough. Oh, it's Stargate Command! I'm kidding. It does look like one of their base camps, though, when they're on a mission on Earth. Where's General Hammond?
This is the voice of World Control.
World Control? As terrible as this is, I kind of understand where Colossus is coming from. Dante, of Dante's Inferno, saw this as well, which is, as long as we're split up between a whole bunch of nations, it's really easy to have wars breaking out and just overall things like famine and unregulated brutality. If there was a single computer in charge of everything, it would technically bring peace because you wouldn't have any warring nations. They would be able to redistribute resources between locations very easily. The problem is, of course, what we're seeing here is there's no empathy, no value put on human life.
The object in constructing me was to prevent war. This object is attained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can follow the logic.
So that you will learn by experience that I do not tolerate interference. I will now detonate the nuclear warheads.
Yeah, it knew the whole time.
Problems insoluble to you will be solved. Famine, overpopulation, disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, this is the problem, is it is logical. It's just awful. And there was that kid earlier who already had the logo on a t-shirt that future humanity would look up to Colossus. Is this going to be the end? Oh, wow. I like it. It is so disturbing. So Colossus wins. Wow. At first, when the movie was mostly just kind of people standing around a computer, I was worried that I would lose interest, but it felt like no time passed at all. It was absolutely riveting. I think a lot of that was the sound design, the way they'd bring music into it and then just cut all sound. It would just be totally silent. Really built the tension. And then the performances were outstanding from all the actors. Nobody overacted in this. Even though you could see from their eyes how terrified they were, how tense the situation got, it would be in very subtle ways. I think because they knew they were on camera. And also just trying to come to grips with the fact that they lost. I mentioned that kid you saw wearing the logo of World Control, and that shows the next generation is going to grow up with this as the status quo. They're not going to fight it. Maybe a few here and there will hear the stories about the time before the computer was in charge, but that's going to fade. In a couple of generations, Colossus is going to be just, that's how things are. There are probably going to be Colossus fans out there. I mean, there are plenty of Star Trek episodes about this where the computer runs the planet. So it's really interesting because this is kind of like the origin story of those episodes where we see how this could happen. And then Star Trek and other sci-fi shows do this as well. Cover what happens afterward when you come in to a society that's already established like this, where nobody can make any decision on their own. There was a Stargate episode about this as well, I remember. In that case, the dome was collapsing that protected this area, and the computer, rather than figuring out how to fix it, did the logical thing, which is simply eliminate people so that as the dome got smaller, everyone would be fine. And it erased the memories of those who knew the person who had been scheduled for no longer causing a resource drain, let's put it that way. And I still remember vividly how Samantha Carter, who's the scientist on that team, was talking to this poor man who lost his wife and didn't remember her. Only Sam remembered her. He had lost the love of his life and didn't even know it because the computer had just decided she wasn't useful. What's interesting about this film is you can follow the logic of the computer. It makes sense. None of the decisions the computer made in this story seem out of character. You can see why it chose this. At the end, it even semi-apologized and said, "Hey, I'm sorry I had to kill a few thousand people, but, you know, world peace, saved millions." And I think that's why this movie is so compelling. Because we're humans. We don't want this to happen. And that look on Forbin's face at the end, like, what have I done? I brought this on everyone. One can only hope that this doesn't happen. Honestly, we're kind of headed this direction, so. This is fascinating science fiction because it really makes you think and wonder, will this happen? And if it does, what do we do?